Good afternoon. This is One Man's Opinion. Today we will continue our series on Chicano contributions to the Southwest, entitled Cattle and Cowboys. One of the great American myths is the story of the cowboy. This legend has captivated the minds of foreign as well as American audiences. Most Americans would be most surprised to learn that the Anglo cowboy is far from original. Virtually everything that we associate with the cowboy and the cattle industry of the Southwest is of Spanish or Mexican origins. In fact, the term cowboy is just a literal translation of the Spanish vaquero and was unknown prior to 1836. Cattle came to the New World from Spain. Coronado drove cattle to the Southwest from Mexico. As part of the famous Sierra expedition, the San Carlos landed 6 or 7 head of cattle in what became San Diego on April 30th, 1769. Later, cattle was driven overland to California from Mexico. By the end of the 18th century, California had over 1 million head of cattle. Cattle were so abundant that they became a nuisance, and beef became a principal part of the diet. At the Mission San Jose, 100 head of cattle were butchered every Saturday. Cattle were shipped to South America ports, and hides and tallow were sent to Boston. Between 1800 and 1848, 5 million hides were exported from California. After the Texas Revolution, thousands of cattle roamed the Texas bush country. These wild cattle would become the source of the cattle industry in the state. Picture for a moment the American cowboy. Everything you see except for his Colt revolver comes from the Mexican vaquero. The American cowboy borrowed from the Mexican vaquero the horned saddle, which the Spaniards adopted from the Moors. The bridle, the spur, the cinch, the halter, the chaparejos, which the cowboys called chaps, the chin strap for the hat, and the feed bag for the horse. Even the venerable 10-gallon hat was derived from the Mexican song reference to a sombrero galoneado. The language of the cowboy, as well as his equipment, were of Mexican origin. Among other terms, the cowboy adopted the following Spanish words: bronco, mezquite, chaparral, vamoose, mesa, cañón, barranca, rodeo, lariat from la riata, and lasso. The cowboy also adopted highly developed Mexican terminology to differentiate horses. For example, an alazán tostado was a chestnut sorrel, a palomino a cream-colored horse, and an andaluz a yellow horse with a blonde mane and tail. The use of the rope and branding also have Spanish and Mexican origins. The Spanish and Mexicans used 3 types of brands: fierro, iron brands; señal, earmarks; and venta, sale brands. Hernando Cortés reportedly introduced branding to Mexico. As early as 1545, brands were registered in the New World. The technique of using range judges to settle disputes is an adaptation from the Mexican juez del campo. Even the prestigious Cattlemen's Association were derived from the alcaldes de la Mesta, a Spanish institution. It is interesting to note that when Austin presented a proposed legal code for his colony, the Mexicans added 2 provisions. One dealt with the registration of brands and the other with wild cattle. Although the Mexican-American has received little credit for his contributions to the economy of the Southwest, his efforts were very significant, as we noted today and in later programs in this series. Thank you, and God bless you.